Hey, what's good, everybody? It's KyFy. I'm glad you could be here. If you are new to the channel, welcome. This is gonna be a good reading for you today. It's gonna be a reading for Taurus. If you've been with me before, I'm glad you could be here again. It's good to see you, and I'm glad you're alive and well. You know, all things considered, the reason why you're here, you're probably looking for something, looking for some answers. We're gonna get to it, but the reason why I became a reader is to show the Zin-Finity Board, basically to introduce it to the community. It is a one-of-a-kind style of reading, and like I said, I became a reader for it. So without further ado, I present to you the Zin-Finity Board. It is my baby, so like I keep saying, it's one of those once-in-a-lifetime things that you see that you're like, oh, I don't know what this is, but when we get down to it, you'll understand that the cards have so much more power here. So when the community gets wind of it, I'm sure it'll help out a lot. So let's get down to it. Taurus, what's good? This is going to be your reading, and the name of this reading is Funnel Vision. So not to be confused with tunnel vision, funnel vision. If you can Google it, you can see what a funnel shape is. So imagine Taurus is the earth energy, right? And earth and water goes hand in hand with each other, especially with the streams. So what happens if you just get a rainfall or like a downpour of, in this case, water, and it's going everywhere? Instead of focus on a location, then you can use it more efficiently and things like that. So that's the kind of the idea behind this reading. There's ways you can focus your energy. So what makes this Zin-Finity Board special is not only the setup, but it presents a story, and God gave me attributes for each sign. And for Taurus, each sign has 5 attributes, and for Taurus it goes as follows. There's the house, the fuel, the focus, the power, and the tool. So basically, if you think about the house, each house on the tree of life is a perspective in God's mind. So whatever house that your sign occupies or your chart occupies is a house that you have more spiritual power in. That's what basically the knowledge says. So your house is the house of value. And what does that mean? The house of value is the second house, and it rules the one's financial standing, assets, and property, as well as how they relate to the material world and feel about it. So when you look at this board, Malkut is where the root is, and this is where the root energy of earth is. And on this side is your side, and this is where the root energy of water is. So you can understand how the feelings and the earth go hand in hand when it comes up to manifestation. And this is the world of manifestation. We're gonna get down to all the pieces of this board, but let's just go in order, right? Next is the fuel. So fuel, it's a fuel for the house. So let's just say the house needs some kind of oil in order to just run and make hot water, heat, energy and things like that. The energy that fuels that house, that perspective that you do so well, is victory. Now, what does that mean? That victorious feeling can come many ways. Let's say you have a plan that you actually see through and it works. That's a victorious feeling, and that's something that you hold and keep. It could come in many different ways. So understand that it's up to you to decipher which way it's coming to you right now. The next is the focus, which is the Empress card. But before that, let me explain power really quickly. So you have focus and power. When my favorite analogy is the bow and the string, in archery, when you want to hit your target, you have basically your aim and your pull. Your pull is your strength, right, which is your power, right? And this power in your case is the Hierophant. It's the Hierophant card, right? And for your focus, it's the Empress card. So your focus is your aim, and your power is the the string pulling back. So understand, if you want to hit any target, those two things need to go Look at that. You need to charge it up. It needs to go hand in hand with each other, just to make it work well. So you understand where I'm going with this. The next attribute is the tool, and your tool is will. So basically, because you're gifted at manifestation, you can do a lot with the things that you bring into this world, with the ideas that you form, the plans. Basically, your gifts is like more tangible items, tangible things, tangible plans that can be implemented in your life. So it's easy for you to will these things into existence, but do they always run for you? Do they always work for you properly? Is it like a double-edged sword? It's up to you to decide that. So, as I said before, let me just run down through it. There's the house, fuel, focus, power, and the tool. And the house is the value. The fuel is victory. The focus is empress. The power is the hierophant. And the tool is the will. So, these are basically special attributes only for Taurus. Nobody else. So nobody else can do this better than you. So if you want a little bit of like a little boost in your day, dust your shoulders off a little bit, just understand that those nobody else can beat you in. So let's move on with it. So I'm gonna be putting these cards out, and I'm gonna be explaining what they mean in a few seconds. But while I do it, I'm going to be explaining some of the messages. Not some of the messages. It's not really much on the message portion of this reading. The message was home base. And then at the last second, the message became home-based vision. So what does that mean? The example that I was given is tag. Do you remember that game when you was playing when you was younger? When you on home base, you can't ever be it, or you can't like you're safe. You're there, you're safe. But if you stay on home base, you don't ever get to experience the game, so you don't ever get to play. So understand that being safe is great, and this is where you guys, when it comes to the earth energy in general, where you guys have this like fantastic feeling of being safe, and this need to feel safe, or like nothing can actually touch that part of you. Nobody can actually shake that part of you. You guys are really just fearless when it comes up to your safety. I'll get it done. I got myself. I got mine, right? Like, don't worry about it. We're gonna get more into it, but let's get some of these oracle cards out real quick. So, I'm going to put these cards out real quick. Just give me a moment. Alright. I decided to do my readings this way because I wanted to reduce the amount of time it took for me to get the word out. And I realized that not everything will be understood at the same time, so I need to take my time with it. So the first part of this reading is the Viscera Vitalis. And what does this mean? Basically, we're going to get the background details of what's happening currently in your life with the oracle cards, with the energy that's around you, basically in the dark, you know, the karma and things like that, the energy of your manifestation, the energy of your mind, your formation, the energy of your spirit, your creation, and the energy of your soul, which is your emanation. So understand that these pieces are just the bodies that you occupy. If you can understand, you have the physical world, the spiritual, the mental, and then there's the astral. But these four worlds you all occupy in your body, your soul, your being, and they work hand in hand with each other, you know, just to live on a daily basis and things like that. But with this board, you can actually put those pieces on the table and see what they're actually saying to each other. So we're going to run down the line of your 10 eyes. And what does that mean? So this card right here, which crowns the reading, is your place of being. So this is the Justice card. Your place of being is your essential nature. So your essential nature is to be balanced. This is the face value. I'm going to get some of these explanations in a second, but let's just get these cards out. So this crowns the reading. And this is the area of Ketha, which is the law of mentalism. So all is mind, right? As above, so below. Whatever's going on in your spiritual life, you know, for yourself, basically comes out into your physical life. And it's up to you to determine the messages, so you can kind of work hand in hand with both to figure out the new steps, the new plan to get you out of the cycle, instead of going back and forth in the dark and the light, in the dark and the light. Let's move forward, right? So you are balanced in your nature. So at the end of the day, you will be fair. That's your motto right here, right? Moving on from there, we have Hokmah, which is the light, and Bina, which is the dark. And Hokmah is represented by the devil, and Bina, which is the dark, is represented by the Eight of Pentacles. Now, I have to turn this way, which means that it's off suit. And what do I mean by that? On this side is the side of the light, and on the side of the light, you have fire and earth. The devil is an earth card, so it is perfectly legit and legal over here. The Eight of Pentacles is an earth card on the side of water and air, so that means that although that this card right here wants to play this role, it is not suited for it. So even though this can be a good thing, it is in the wrong area. So this is the difference between Zin-Finity and everything else. We get to piece things together according to how they work with each other separately. And these are all perspectives in your one mind. So let's get it, right? So as I was saying, this is your place of being. When it comes to here, it is your place of wanting. So the devil is in your way of wanting. Or it can be helping you at the same time. We're going to figure it out. But it is the card that fits well in this position. So it's doing a good job. But it's also a lesson at the same time, so it could be painful. So we're going to get down to that. And on the same side, on this other side, is the place of needing. So we discovered your essential nature, what you're going to refer to at the end of the day, right? It's the Justice card. What you want is the Devil card, right? What you're needing is the Eight of Pentacles. And like I said, this is off suit. So what you're needing is out of order. So you got to think about it. What do you need in your life that you really don't need? What is misguiding you about your needs? What do you really need to get the job done? Alright, and from there, we're going to go to the gift. And what does that mean? In this area right here, there's something that God gave you. There's a knowing that God gave you, yourself, your soul, that should you present it to the world, it'll be like this greatest vibration you could present to the world at all. And it's in you, and you have to discover it, right? You can discover it if you want to. But to give you a hint of what your gift could be through your knowing is the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is a fire card, and the reason why this is on suit is because if you understand that these two places right here, this is air and this is fire, and this triangle means it could be either one of them. So you're on suit with there when your gift is not hurting you. So your gift is being used in the right places. So whatever you're putting your mind to, even if you know it's not working right now, understand that it's clearing the way for something else. So what is it clearing the way for? Just think about it, right? Also, this is the place of knowing. So we're going to understand how the King of Wands is sitting on the throne. You claim your knowledge. Your knowledge is something that you hold precious. It's something that people can't get to easily, right? You got to be, you got to pass the test first. Yeah. Whatever that means for you. Whoever got to pass the test, yeah. It's not an easy one. But be fair at the end of the day, right? Remember that. That is your nature. So be willing to give your nature regardless to any person that's trying to give themselves to you, right? Moving on, we have your will. And it is the Page of Cups. Now, this is also offsuit. And this is the place of I will. So, the reason why this won't work is, imagine cooking. You have your water, you have your pot, right? Your manifestations. And then you have something to cook. Or at least the heat to cook it with. But you don't have any of those here. You just have more water. So, your emotions are blocking you from doing the things that you know you can do already, right? Moving on from there, you have your place of desire, which is the Queen of Cups. Now, this is on suit. Your desires are in order. The things that you truly want, but it comes from, not from your ego, not from your fantasies, but from your dream. There's a difference between your dream and fantasies. Your dreams come from yourself. Comes from your spirit, gets translated from your feelings, right? You understand after the fact that it wasn't the right thing that you was actually looking for. Your fantasy guided you to something to learn from, right? Your fantasies is like what your mind interprets your dream to be. But also your mind, understand that we've been programmed to think a certain way, and we have certain traumas. So that has affected our mind from doing all these things properly. So, it's up to you to look at your traumas real quick and figure out what triggers you. Because what can trigger you to not be so emotional? What did that in the past? Try to remember what did it and just kind of manifest it again. It's not hard for you because, you're the truth anyway. Moving from there, you have your area of I love. So this is the Emperor card. The Emperor is a fire card in the place of air. So in this square right here, the element must be its own nature. It's not dual like these other triangle spots, right? So since this isn't in its nature, we're gonna put it this way also. Good card to have, but it's in the wrong area. We're gonna get to it, right? Next up is the Eight of Wands. Now this is the fire card in the place of your solar plexus, and of course that's amazing, right? It's the Eight of Wands. You got Eight of Pentacles over here, so we're gonna see what the connection is with that. And this is your place of I act, right? So anything you act on or anything that you attract. So you have your actions, and the effects of it is the attractions, what you attract towards you, right? From there, you have I feel, which is represented by the Seven of Swords. Now, this is your mind in the way of your emotions. So, even though you were trying to hold them back, not going through them is also bad because you're taking it with you. And it's shown by the Seven of Swords. But we're going to just leave it like this and leave the explanation for a second. Right? Going from there is the Seven of Cups, and this is in your place of I am. So I am is very special. and basically the door to everything. The reason why the door is right here, if you can see the circle, right? The door to your manifestations, the door, that door that's been closed to you for so long, is blocked by this Seven of Cups, right? Why? Because your emotions can't cook. Your emotions are water. Your emotions are not earth. Earth is manna. Manna is leaves. Manna is the meat that you cook. Manna is the greens. You name it. Right? Okay. Greens, beans, tomatoes. That threw me off. The greens. So yeah, but there's nothing to cook. It's only emotions at your disposal. So it's only gonna, this is what happens. When you cook water, when you boil water, it turns into air. And that's just more mental energy. And the reasons why these two right now are going hand in hand and messing you up. Wow, I said that before I even understood that this was 7 and 7. I didn't even realize. Alright, so yeah. So we got 8877. And this is the 88 portal, right? I bet that plays some kind of significance, but we're gonna see what it is. But now that you have a general understanding of some of the things that could be going wrong, we're gonna get the background, the reasons why they're going wrong, right? So this right here is new life, and this is in a place of your aspiration. This spot is multidimensional, but this spot is Da'at, and it's the endless. So you have an endless amount of aspirations, an endless amount of wants and needs and things and ideas, right? And it comes from this area. And the oracle card that's guiding you to understand what's fueling that is new life. So I hope you understand that. So we're going to get to that real quick, but let me just put it right here, right? And that is in your world of emanation. So moving on from there, we have Yetzirah, which is the world of formation, and that is the mental, the mind, right? And we have death. You have death in the mind, which is good because your mind was carrying so many emotional when your mind is preoccupied by holding emotions down, you have no time to go after what you truly desire, right? So your desires are in order, but your mind is stopping you. This is Infinity Board. It gets clearer. So if it's just helping you out, leave a comment, leave a like in the description, or a comment in the description. I want to hear how you think. I want to see if this helped you out a little bit to clear things up, to give you new perspectives, because that's actually my goal. New perspective is the thing that gets you to move in different directions. The cycle can't hold you if you go in a different directions. Hula hoop. If you swinging in one direction, if you start walking, it's not as easy. So get out of it, right? Moving on from there, we have what's in Bariya, which is the world of creation, ruled by the spirit, is soulmate. So not only do you have your desires in order, you have soulmate, of course it comes in relationships, right? Okay. But there are many different soulmates you have in your life. Your friends could be your soulmates too. But also your possessions and your activities, your events that comes in your life, they can be soulmated with you too. It's just in your path, and should you take it up, it can help you, it can benefit you. So those are the soulmates, and it's in your spirit, and you can feel it out, and you know what they are, right? Your desires are in order. And lastly, we have the physical world, which is the world of manifestation, and this is portrayed by the oracle of magic. So you want to do some magic, or at least your manifestations, when they actually work, they do magic. Keywords. When they actually work, and when you can get it to start, they do magic. There's no doubt. And this is a big pinnacle. So that's a sign for y'all. It's the magic specifically for y'all. What I'm going to do right now is get into the descriptions. We finished the Visitor Vitalis, and now we're going to be moving on to the Pneuma Effect. So now that we have what's off right now, so we see that Tiferet, your heart chakra's off. You're basically I call it the Earth Star, right? But it's Bina. That's off. Your dark energy is off. The energy that fuels your density, which means like, okay, you can grow, but are you tough? That the darkness fuels that toughness, right? That's off. When it comes up to your will, it's too emotional, so you can't get anything done. It's like, oh, I can't. That's off. When it comes up to, I said the heart chakra already. When it comes up to I am, so this is the place of fear. That's off, right? I am. You're not stable, so you can't. That's what that is. You can't right now because you're too emotional in a certain area. I know this is hard to hear, but if it triggers you, good. Because now, whoever triggered you before, they don't have the opportunity to. I took it. Alright. Also, your emotions are being blinded by your mental. As we move on to the Pneuma Effect, I'm going to explain what these 9 black cards are. These are 9 eyes, but they're all also 9 perspectives. And if they're in order, you will be able to think more clearly and act more clearly and actually be able to do the thing that you came here to do. So we're going to understand and draw cards, these cards, on it and figure out, I already shuffled, but we're going to figure out what we can do to fix some of these perspectives, or what we can do to shed some light on the situation. Right? Did a card just turn? Okay. Delusional. Alright. So, maybe you said that before. Maybe you said that recently. The whole world is delusional. Everybody around you is delusional. So, the first card to be corrected is... Bina, which is the 8 of Pentacles, by the Ace of Wands. Now, that doesn't finish us off because it's not water or air, so we're going to keep going until we get it right. This one, it becomes like goldfish, but it's also a good thing. Wow, 8 of Pentacles again. So, you're working a lot, but it's not panning out. I saw how that came out. 5 of Pentacles. I'm only able to draw 6 cards in each area because that's the way I set it up, right? Okay, no, this one. The Hierophant. The Hierophant is also an Earth card. Wow. When I keep putting cards in the area, you understand that there's more weight. Weight in this example is energy. So you're using a lot of energy to get past this area just to get through the day, right? Just to get a little bit out of life. So when it comes up to your dark energy, it's energy of toughness. Being able to hold your ground, stand your ground. It's coming into play right now. So let's see, the High Priestess is a water card. So we're good. It finally cleared it out. And it's just in time too. So the High Priestess is also like a little balance, right? Justice right here is a little balance too. So you end it off in your nature. So that's a clue right there. If you just be yourself, it'll even out the flow of the dark energy here, allowing you to fuel your desire and allowing you to feel it out what you truly want, past all the manipulation, past all the skepticism. You'll be able to achieve it because you already know, you already have a clue or what you need. That's the most frustrating thing. Being able to see what you want and can't get it. Yeah. Moving on from there. We're going to fix the will right now. So. Alright. So, the Ace of Pentacles came out. And that finishes that. So, you see that magic right here? So the magic just manifested. Let me show it this way. The magic in your manifestation just showed itself right in the Ace of Pentacles and fixed that up. So it doesn't take much work for you to fix the thing as long as you know what to fix. So yeah, moving on from there, we're gonna fix the next up is Tiferet, which is your heart chakra, what you love, right? And this is your place of movement and love and movement. If you've been following me, you understand that I don't call love anymore. Love is movement, and what you care for, you move towards. That's what the combination of those two equals love, right? What you care for, you move towards, and that's the feeling. Love makes the world go round. So it's like, if there's a cycle of time, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but okay. If there's a cycle of time, what makes it actually run is love, and we're chasing that. But it's why we want to be here forever. We're in the presence of love, and we're having such a hard time, but we know that it's love here to achieve. So what is it? What do you need? So coming to fix that is the Justice card, and Justice is air. So alright, this is a new deck, right? So when the cards double like that and speak so transparently, understand, like, again, being in your nature is coming out again. Just be yourself. The heart chakra, my favorite analogy when it comes to this right now, as my understanding of it is, oh, thank you. The other part of the message when it comes to home-based vision, you can't see from a higher perspective when you're looking from home base. You're at home base, but there's so much land to explore. You can never play the game, tag, whatever, because you're not willing to be out in front of these people that's trying to get you. But that's the world, you came here to live, to experience hardships as well as the beautiful things. So understand that moving with fear, you won't get your experiences out. You just come back again. I believe in reincarnation. You'll come back again and try this again with better, probably better or more knowledge. We come back and just learn new things every time. Yeah, so just be yourself. It'll come out. Seeing from a higher perspective allows you to plan more and gives you new ideas. When you see the bigger picture, the better scope of things, zoom out. In that sense, if you're looking from a city, you zoom out, you see the whole city. Zoom in, you only see a borough. You focusing on that borough so much, the other boroughs is taking over, right? Or they're just out of order. You understand where it's going. But your justice, your essential nature allows you to see that from that higher perspective. Nobody can get in your way if you just be yourself. This is what it's giving me right now. So moving on to the next thing that's out of order was the Seven of Wands, right? And that is the area of I feel. So let's get it. Okay. This is I said the Seven of Wands, but I meant to say Swords. And now it's the Queen of Swords. Now, this is a stubborn energy in this area. It's just giving me stubbornness right now. I'm not biased to cards that fall. Page of Pentacles. Earth and water support each other because you can grow things from it. So it's giving me it's gonna be handled soon. We're almost there, even though this is more air right now. This is a Three of Swords. The rain in the background is what we need. We need that source of emotion, because emotion is energy in motion. And without your energy, you can't will anything into existence. This is why you need to feel things out. Once you control that feeling, once you get over it, it's energy that you control. And this energy comes out your aura and it comes into your manifestations. So when you learn to get over things, when you learn the lessons, that becomes energy. Learn your lessons, you can claim your energy. And you only need yourself to do it. Maybe you can use a therapist or somebody to talk to, somebody you trust. But it's energy to be claimed. And we all slacking. I'm slacking. Right? I'm saying this and I'm like, God, fuck. Okay. Yeah. Oh. So the Wheel of Fortune came out, and that is a fire card. So let's keep going. We don't have many left. Nope. Okay. Got a lot of action, but let's see. Yeah, this one is calling me. Knight of Pentacles. So we got one more. If it doesn't clear out, if it's not a water card. Oh, nope, wasn't a water card. So understand that a lot of the weight is on your spirit right now. So you have to get over something spiritually in order to even let your ego, which is your ego controls your mind. But your mind makes the formations that work, right? So you're giving no energy to your mind because you need to get over things in your spirit. This is what it's giving me right now. A lot of the weight is on this side. On this side, it's handled real easy, real quick so far. Let's test that theory out. So Malkut is on this side. It's on the side of the light. And it first presented us with the Seven of Cups. Now that's water. You can't cook that. It only just makes more mental pain. So let's see. The moon. And that is not earth. That is water. So even though things are being cleared up, it requires that process of clearing it up. So yeah. Okay. Actually, that came out in reverse. Judgment in reverse. Letting things slide. And what card was this? What are you letting slide? The Hanged Man. Water. Okay. The Two of Swords. Now that's your mind. Your mind can't be cooked. You know, let me explain this. Your thoughts are not things that can be used. We actually are required to manifest things, to work it into this world. So your thoughts, you put them on a piece of paper, and then you manipulate it from there to find out the pieces that you need to actually make the 3D part. Then you go from there to use the 3D part for whatever you needed to do. But if it's just an idea for a plan, the 3D comes out in your body to do things, right? But your mind has to go through the process of getting that here. You have an imagination of being slim, fit, or body goals or whatever, right? But that's an imagination that you have to put a practical plan to in order for it to actually be in existence. And God will help you along the way. He will set things up for you. Just cancel some of your meetings so you just have time to be in the gym. And next thing you know, you just walk into a smoothie shop by mistake and you're like, oh, that looked like a good smoothie. Or what smoothie was that? Like, it's just random things, random occurrences that are really happening in your life that you be like, what is going on? You really must want me to do this thing. Yes. God cannot talk to us like we want him to talk to us, so we gotta listen to these messages. Alright, so the last card to come out is the Seven of Wands. So there's a lot of sevens. Oh wait, Seven of Cups, Seven of Swords. Okay, I thought the Seven of Wands came. I thought it came out already. So we got some things to talk about, and let's just go over it real quick. Now we're gonna really get into the descriptions of everything. What's the nitty gritty, right? So first up, we have the Justice, and I like to get my Y-Spell tarot deck to get these descriptions. So let's get it. So in regards to your ascent, we have a bit of the story, a good amount of the story, but we're gonna really I'm gonna give you the details of it, right? And what I'm doing right now is bringing the energy from the crown to the root. And once we get to the root, we get to the star stream. We get to use that energy in practical ways, in this sense, right? We get to use that energy in practical ways through like speech, our speech right now, our thoughts, what you could be thinking right now when you hear my words. So basically, what I'm doing right now is bringing the energy from the crown, starting at the justice, right, ending off at the root. And when we get to the root, we get to the star stream. That's the next portion. But the star stream is experimentation, expression, integration, and transcendence. And that's just after you have the energy to move on with the new perspective, then you have an actual like a plan of action. So we get that with that. So let's get the energy down from the crown, starting off with the justice, your essential nature. Let's get it. Justice, karma, consequence, accountability, law, truth, honesty, integrity, cause and effect. So cause and effect is right here. So when it's upright, the justice card is appearing in the reading as signals that judgment will be made fairly and accordingly. These decisions that you have made in the past will be carefully weighed with fairness. So I remember the judgment card came out at the root, right? And it flipped out, OD. So we're on the right track. So that's your essential nature. Your essential nature is to deal with your karma. So you're dealing with the karma, but not the emotional effect behind it. So it's like you're willing to do the time, but not the spiritual work it takes to get through it. It requires work, and it's a lot of work to do because it didn't finish off. And that's just emotional, right? That didn't finish off, and your root didn't finish off. Yeah. Alright, moving on, we have the devil. Now, this is in the place of your I want. And why is the devil here? Let's get it. Oppression, addiction, obsession, dependency, excess, powerlessness, limitations. You want limitations. You see your power and you see how it can be abused, and you see how it takes a lot of time and effort to control what you do so naturally that other people are so easily affected by. So you understand you need to tame that energy. How can it be used in a way that people won't be pushed away from it, right? It's a lot of ways to use things, but this is your power. And your power is the King of Wands. Remember when you talked about your gift? One of your gifts is the King of Wands, I should say, right? And I literally just remembered that I didn't explain the oracle, but I'll do it after I get down the line, right? So basically, you understand your power and you want to know how to control it. That's where you're headed. You're headed to the point where you can control your power. And when you can control it, other people can't control you. As simple as that. So when you claim, when you claim your power from your lessons, not only do you have more power not to do the things that hold you back, you have the power to be yourself, and it will cause a chain effect. Let's put it this way. We see the chain. But let's keep going. Going towards your dark energy. You had a little trouble here, but starting off with the Eight of Pentacles, let's get it. This is your place of I need, right? What your soul truly believes that it needs. So this is past your mental. It's not affected by your mental. This is your spiritual need. So the Eight of Pentacles. Ooh. It says skill, talent, craftsmanship, quality, high standards, expertise, mastery, commitment, dedication, and accomplishment. So how could this be in the wrong area? That's all good things, right? Why is this a blockage? Because you believe that you can handle it and it doesn't require God to help you. So it's like, oh, I got this, but you're not understanding this co-creation. When you think you got it, that's your ego telling you that you don't need God. So although you're putting all this work in, put a little bit more spirit into it and see what you get out of it. Put a little bit more feeling into it and see if it even comes out the same, right? So moving on from there, went to the Ace of Wands. All right. So inspiration, creative spark, initiative, new passion, enthusiasm, energy. So like I just said, the newness of it all, understanding that you need to initiate some spiritual, you need to burn away these blockages with these new ideas. New ideas will force you into new patterns, new habits. So you understand where this is going. Yeah, that's kind of self-explanatory after that. But in that enthusiasm and new passion, that's a lot of energy towards what you want and what you need. So let's go. From there, we got to the Eight of Pentacles again. So it's like you backtrack. Believe in what your ideas. Believe in that spiritual. What's calling you. Believe in it, because it's waiting for you. It's almost like, just imagine God can't talk to you and is saying go here, and is watching you from the sky like, go do it, just go, and you just back off at the last second, not knowing that your miracles and all the things that you've been wishing for and praying for was right if you went through that door, right? If you just actually did it, it ought to have been offered to you, but in different ways than you imagine. So your blessings, you're not in control of that. Don't imagine what your blessings could be, because you're taken away from God giving it to you. Like, oh, this is it. No. Are we there yet? No. That's annoying, right? So just be patient. Don't even put it in the back of your mind. It went from there to the Four of Pentacles. So less of a blockage after your spirit came in. You tried to believe yourself again, but look what happened. Possessiveness, insecurity, hoarding, stinginess, stability, security, savings, materialism, wealth, frugality, boundaries, and guardedness. So you started to discover what your power was, and you just started to discover how you can control it. But with power comes great responsibility. And you have to understand that in your nature, you even messing with that. You can't go opposite of nature. So if you working so hard to do something that you were not born to do, thinking that it's going to give you that abundance that you're wishing and praying for, it's opposite energy. It's opposite the manifestational energy. It's just look in a different direction. It'll come towards you. So you went from there to the Hierophant. So on the Zin-Finity Board, right, the Hierophant is the connection from Chesed to Hokmah, right? Hokmah is technically here, so I had to put it this way for a better visual, but it wound up to be a macabre anyway. So the Hierophant is the connection from your will to your path, right? Hokmah is the path. When it comes up to the way this board is set up, each oracle leads you to the next part. Each oracle connects each perspective to the other, right? So your spirit connects your dark energy, right, Bina, to Gebuda, which is your desire, which is your need, to your desire. So your spirit is the one in charge of that. So you're soulmated in that area, right? Same goes for this. When it comes to your will, you will go and do something, which means you have a path, right? The right path, hopefully. This, your mind, makes sure is your GPS. Are you going in the right direction? And this is guarded by the Death card. So same goes for your manifestations between what you desire and what you will. You literally have to manifest it, right? Your manifestation is guarded by the magic. And when it comes to emanation is a little bit tricky to understand. Where do your ideas come from? Just think about that real quick. Just close your eyes and think about where that sound is coming from. That's here. It's coming out of the eye, the endless, the boundless, right? It's coming out of there, giving you new ideas every time you ask for it. So the Hierophant was that connection, and look what it says. It's still not finished yet because it's an Earth card. It's still a blockage, but it's a divine, okay, let me take over. Now that you're willing for God to take over, when God took over, put a stop to it and put you on the throne at the same time. So wherever you are, you could be throned and don't even know it. You could be in the best position that you need to be and you don't even know it. But God is going to show you. So tradition, social groups, conventionality, conformity, education, knowledge, beliefs. Your beliefs are in order. You have the right information. Your patterns in your, what does it say? The people that are around you are actually benefiting you now. Or at least you have an idea of who shouldn't be around you. So that's probably what God has given you. Probably examples of people showing themselves to you and you saying, wow, this is you. Okay. I have to take it for what it is. And knowing it disallows them to trigger you about it. Alright, so you went from there to the high priestess. And the high priestess closed this out at the last second. So in the nick of time. So understand, if you have like deadlines coming up for whatever it is, whatever that stressful event is, you're good. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Why? Because, well, let me just read it. Unconscious intuition, mystery, spirituality, higher power, and inner voice. You're being guided, and it's like something is telling you not to do it. Don't go there. Listen to that inner voice. You know how they say, still your mind, quiet your mind. God's voice is very still, very direct, not dramatic, and all that stuff. Listen to that voice, that first voice that comes up. Usually, right? For some reason, it's like a voice that you have to force yourself to deny the truth of. We all have that voice, and it's always telling us some truth. We don't accept it all the time, and it's just bringing us to this cycle. Accept the truths that you already know. Alright, so now that that's clear, we're going to move on to the next one, which is your will. So it started off with the Page of Cups and then went to the Ace of Pentacles, right? So the reason why you aren't willing anything into existence, the reason why you can't start anything, is because of this. Idealism, sensitivity, dreams, naivety, innocence, inner child, and your head in the clouds. So let's just say the bliss of it all is misleading you. So when you finally get to release some of that energy, those baggages, like when you finally get to unload some of that baggage, it feels great, and it's like a blissful feeling. Finally, I got to do the thing that I really wanted to do for a very long time. And it's not allowing me to move on. Why is that? Because it wasn't what you actually wanted. It was something else behind it. Now, here's the difference between fantasies and dreams. Fantasies are created by the mind. Dreams are created or given to you from your superconscious by your spirit, right? Or whichever way you want to hear that. Your spirit knows your dream, and your mind creates a fantasy, and we go with the fantasy most of the time, right? We want to see ourselves in the greatest of our light, so that's where the fantasy is, but it requires a balance between both to achieve it. So it went from there to the Ace of Pentacles, which cleared it. So now you got something to work with, and it's magic. So the Ace of Pentacles, new opportunities, resources, abundance, prosperity, security, stability, and manifestation. So your manifestations will be able to come when you understand these new opportunities that are around you. The reason why it's fixed so quickly is because it comes out of your nature, and you are an earth sign, and you have a balanced mental nature. So anytime that you just, I'm just going to do myself, take care of myself, nurture myself, it works out. And once you do that, it's like, imagine you planted a tree, an apple tree, that was only supposed to grow a certain amount of apples in a year. No, you quadruple that because that's just your gift, right? That's what's coming out right now. What you expect to happen is going to be so much greater, so much of a better effect. You don't know God's power, so sit back and just believe. And funny, this is the place of being, so believe. Leave it to God. Okay, from there we're going to go to the actual desire card. It was the Queen of Cups, and this is on suit, so let's see what it says. So, compassion, warmth, kindness, intuition, healing, counseling, and support. You desire to be nurtured, but you can do it for yourself. But it's so much easier to have other people do it for you. I don't know why that came out, but for some reason slavery is coming out too. So authority without control. I mean, what? I forgot the quote, but it's like power without authority is slavery or something like that. If you can remember it, it's for you. But I gotta move on. The Queen of Cups represents emotions, femininity, and intuition. This card reminds the asker you to honor their sensitivity and allow themselves to feel the full spectrum of emotions that make up the human experience. So allowing yourself to go through the emotions, to feel out why this could have happened, why it triggered you, what made you do that horrible thing, what made you go that direction instead. If you sit there and figure it out, you just gain all of that baggage. You unpack it, and now you get to wear the clothes out because they good clothes. You know what I mean? So moving on to your heart chakra, which is Tiferet. We started off with the Emperor, and that is a fire card, and we ended off with the Justice card, which is your essential nature. So I said before, being yourself is the key component to you nurturing yourself, and also presenting or coming up with new ideas to help yourself. Just being yourself gives you both of those answers. So if you were looking all over the place, look in the mirror, close your eyes, think, meditate. That's how you get your answers. It's nowhere else. Stop looking. You're wasting your energy, right? Alright, so starting off with the Emperor, let's see what it says. So, Emperor. Stability, structure, protection, authority, control, practicality, focus, and discipline. Now this is forced. This is your ego trying to make everything work after the fact instead of wanting to start over. There's a beautiful thing in starting over, and that's a death experience. Basically, getting rid of everything and starting new. We're understanding this. I know we are. Thinking that you got it and you can handle it and you can keep everything together without a little bit of help. Thinking that you don't need to change thinking that you don't need to make drastic changes, but instead trying to keep the fantasy alive. That's going out the water because it's stagnant. You're not getting anywhere with it. You can't do this by yourself. You have to rely on either spirit or people that God send you to get some of these things done. It ended off with the Justice card. We're going to read this 7 times. I literally just remembered that the Empress card came out, and it came out in the place of your dark energy, Bina, right? And the Empress is your focus card. So if you focus on nurturing yourself, it puts you in the right direction, because you'll see the target, you'll see what you need to do. That's literally what it's saying right now. So your power is the Hierophant. And did that come out too? What I meant to say was, that was your power. I was talking about your power the whole time. So not your focus, your power. Your power is in nurturing yourself. That's where you get your power from. And like I said, this emotional baggage is a part of your power. Alright, so moving on from there, we have the 8 of Wands in the solar plexus, which is holding that sack on the tree of life. And it is on suit, so let's just see what it says. This is a place of your actions, your basically your rhythm, what you're doing, your patterns, your habits. And it's the Eight of Wands. Let's see what it says. Movement, speed, progress, quick decisions, sudden changement. Wow, sudden changement. Sudden changes and excitement. The Eight of Wands represents forward movement, momentum, and action. This card suggests stalled projects and endeavors will be picking up at great speed. Momentum has finally arrived. So, where does the momentum come from? All this energy that's on this side. So when you clear it, this is where this Eight of Wands take place. But you already got it down packed. It's like you got the funnels. Thank you. You got the funnels lined up, but no water, no energy going into it. So let's get that energy back. Don't let the people from your past hold you back that much. They're not there no more. Giving them that power allows them to win. And when you take it back from them, they finally lose. But that's what the people in the past, and it's probably specific to some people. So let's move on from there. Now to this area right here, which is your side, which is the area of emotions. So this is your emotional foundation, and it's out of whack. The reason why you need to have a strong emotional foundation, because if you are in a place where you could fear, if you're stable emotionally, you won't, and you'll still be able to move. So you know how when people are in situations of being threatened and stuff like that, what are you doing? Are you cowering? Or are you planning your next steps? That's the difference between an emotionally stable person and not. But that has to do with training. So maybe, like I said, nurturing yourself is a part of training too. You get rhythms and habits on yourself to do certain things, and you don't have to worry about it so much. It is second nature. So, starting with the emotions, we have the Seven of Swords, all in your mind, and you're taking all of it with you. It's usable. You're a hoarder, an emotional hoarder. That's hilarious. So, Seven of Swords, emotional hoarder. That's crazy. That's a new one for me. Never heard that before. What's keeping you back is past, present, or future. Lies, trickery, schemes, strategy, resourcefulness, sneakiness, cunning. You want to run away, but you should not take it up. Defensive positions. Do not become an enemy to yourself. You need to show diplomacy, dexterity, flexibility, and then you can easily cope with the opposition and achieve your goals. So we've been saying this. This is just confirmation. So let's move on from there. Queen of Swords, sitting in your power, the stubborn one. So let me see what she gotta say. It's still mental energy. So honest, independent, principled, fair, providing, constructive, criticism, objective, and perceptive. Now, there's no movement here. There's only staying there and judging everything or deliberating on everything. It's like, yeah, I know what this is now, and I'm gonna sit right here still for no reason. You got all the knowledge. Knowledge is power, and you're not using it because it's blocked emotionally, energetically. We're gonna get these blockages out. We're gonna look. Okay, moving on to the next card, we have the Page of Pentacles. Ambitious, diligent, goal-oriented, planner, consistent, star student, studious, grounded, loyal, faithful, and dependable. Now the reason why this card right here is starting to help the process is because water and earth support each other. You see how this one Page of Pentacles right here, this one pentacle, and then this one pentacle in the magic, and then this Ace of Pentacles right here. You figured out one thing about yourself that was so strong, so much value in it. It changed the way you think about yourself, and you can no longer be shaken in that area. So somebody had power over you, and it's starting to be insignificant. It's all like, okay, yeah, I got a big toe. Okay, congratulations. You done talked about my big toe for 17 years. I'm tired of you saying it now. You know what? I found somebody that liked my big toe. And they trying to step on your big toe just because you like it so much. Going from there, we have the Three of Swords, which I said it was getting better because you have this release of rain, and rain is water, and that's emotional energy. So this gives me energy of releasing something, so you have energy towards something else. But let's see what it says. Right. Heartbreak, separation, sadness, grief, sorrow, upset, loss, trauma, and tears. See, this is all a part of the process of the stages of grief and stages of getting over things. That's good. You have to accept it and let it go. That's a great thing. So you're accepting the fact that some of your thoughts were holding you back. And not only were they holding you back, they were destroying your opportunities, burning bridges left and right. And it all came from probably trauma. So like I said, look back, go through these emotions, and then you can actually use them. So you went from there to the Wheel of Fortune, and let's see what it says. Change cycles, fate, decisive moments, luck, fortune, unexpected events. So this is another pinnacle, which is good. It's in support. You're probably getting little nudges from God saying, yeah, you're on the right track, don't worry about it, it'd be cool. Your friend give you $100 out of for no reason to pay you back from something that you ain't even need to pay them back for. Like, nah, I ain't need you to do this, but I really need this. Oh yeah, go ahead and take it. Just random crazy events that's happening, and you're like, okay, these things are really keeping me afloat, so I'ma just keep moving forward on this invisible light platform that I can't see. Like I'm walking over a cliff and there's nothing else there to walk on, but yet I'm still walking to the other side. I don't know how this is possible, but thank God. I wake up every day, this is the thoughts that's happening in your head. Wake up every day, thank you, God. And it's almost like a fear, like I don't want to not believe in it no more. Like, let me hold on to this belief as hard as I can. And that's good. It's a great place to be. Finally, you believe in the spirit. Okay? The spirit got your back. Moving on. Now you knighted. You was a page before. Now you a knight. So, okay. Now I'm going to take this one thing and really run with it. And really start going ham on everything that is in my way. Now that I really know one thing about myself. And this is just one thing. One thing given to you by God. It might have been your gift. So, I forgot to talk about that one. I'll talk about it next. So, it might have been your gift. You took it with you. You learned that one thing. That's all you need. One guide. One clue. That's how close you are. One more step. And this ended off not in tragedy, but it ended off in a way where it won't be handled right now. So this is going to take some time. Of course it is. You've been holding it down for so long. You need time to hash it out. It's just what it is. It's processing. Defrag on a computer. That takes a long time, but when it's finished, everything runs so smoothly and it's like a new computer. That's for the tech heads over there. So so lastly, like literally when I was about to mention your root chakra, Malkut, all the cards fell on the floor, but I think I put them back in the same order. So that's the thing I'm worried about the most. So hopefully I got it right. We started off with the 7 of Cups, right? And there was a lot of 7s here. Well, it was double 8s and then double 7s. So call it lucky, coincidental, right? So what this means is this is water and there's nothing to hold on to. Where's your anchor? Where are you anchored? That's your only hope at this point. Not only hope, that's crazy. But that's what you need to be focused on. Where your anchor lies. Because this is water that your foundation is on. So without the anchor, it's just floating and just aimlessly, You'll be in a different spot every time you open your eyes. Every time you blink is a new place. What about you? What is it about you that you hold special and hold dear that you're willing to risk it all for? That's your anchor. So 7 of Cups, choices, search for purpose, illusion, fantasy, daydreams, wishful thinking, indecision. That indecision hit me because not wanting to do something means that your emotions, or bailing at the last second means that your emotions got the better of you. That's really what that means. But you're also searching for purpose at the time that you're bailing on the things that God presented you to do. So you're not going through the experiences. So how could you learn? You gotta experience. Experience points gives you points, in any game. You gain experience, you put the points on the thing, right? Yeah, experience points. You gotta get the experience. You gotta go through it. It's just a part of the process. And if you're way along in that journey, you got some points to use. Where you gonna use them? Moving on from there, we went to the moon, right? More water. But yeah. Illusion, intuition, uncertainty, confusion, complexity, secrets, unconsciousness. So you have to be awake or present. You can't live in the fantasy, especially when it's not created yet. And you can't live in your dream unless you're going towards it. You can live in your dream if you're taking the steps, because in practicality, you're already there. It's just the amount of time it takes, right? Once you have the steps in line, you're living in your dream. Your dream is not one moment. It's the process, the struggle, and coming out on the other side of it. And the triumph, the victory, that fuels you. What I said before, that's your house. So that's giving me. So moving on from there, we got the star. The star is an air card, so it's a mental process. It's a divine process, so God, put something in your way for you to think about. Say, okay, you've been thinking about this for a long time. I'm gonna show you something. Let's see what you do with it. So the ball's in your court. So now you have no excuses. That's what it was. The judgment was reversed. That's what it was. It flipped out OD and it went reverse. Thank you. I cut myself off just now. So moving on. Let's get what the star says. Hope, inspiration, positivity, faith, renewal, healing, and rejuvenation. I think I said it already. But yeah. So, although you fear, you're hopeful. And that is an energy that trumps. I not only know it, but what is it called? Dreamless? I forgot the series that came out. It was about the Sandman. His name was Dream. And he was facing the devil. And they were having a word battle. But every time that they use these words, these powerful words, the whole environment around them would change shape and just explode or be born, or just it was going in between the darks and the light energies and things like that, the negative and the positive things that you can imagine happening. But at the end of it, where all hope was lost, hope was the word that he said, and he won the game. There's nothing else that can beat hope. So as long as you hope that things will be better, that's a better energy to have than being in the state of giving up or like hopeless, despair. So instead of despairing, find out what you hope to happen. Write it down, because writing is powerful. Writing sends signals to your subconscious and says, I want this done. Writing is a craft. that you can, get better at. And next thing you know, your thoughts to the pen and paper will become more finite, and you'll be able to get these ideas out better. Next thing you know, it'll be like copy paste, and the process is easier. What are you going to be doing then? But Judgment came out, and it flipped and turned and did all that stuff, and I wanted to see what it says, and this is in reverse. So yeah, another thing to note, Judgment is a connection between your solar plexus and Malkuth, which is your root. So in order to be rooted, you have to judge some things, or things have to be judged, canceled, cleared out of your life. And funny, Judgment is the flood, and this is nothing but water over here. So Judgment releases the energy, so that's a good sign. But it's the reverse. So look at this: self-evaluation, awakening, renewal, purpose, reflection, and reckoning. So reflecting, it's pointing to this energy right here. Your emotions must be controlled, and there's so much energy behind it if you can actually control. And this is another thing about the funnel. Emotions, energy needs outlets. If you don't have an outlet, you have an implosion, right? All that, not implosion, but you expand in the wrong way, and you won't be able to contain it. So you'll burst. And just imagine a balloon. When you don't have an outlet, the air will just keep going in the balloon, and you'll never be able to get the air out. Put it this way. You know how a hot air balloon has that valve on the top of it that releases the air? Because if you didn't, you would keep going up and up and up and up and up, and then next thing you know, you just die because you can't breathe that high, right? But being able to control that is what's coming into play right here. Like I said, all energy needs an outlet. So find a way to control, like, that snap. Like, find a way to control that drive that you have. If you can keep it there for a long time, if you can find a way to make it a habit, then you'll have nothing to worry about, because your nature will handle the rest. Then we're from there to the Hangman. This is all about new perspective. So a lot of major arcana came out. I realized something. I read for the Judgment upright, so I gotta go back. But if that was for you, that was for you. So reverse, it says self-doubt, lack of awareness, failure to learn lessons, self-loathing. So it's basically the opposite of what we was talking about. Not accepting what you have to do on the work when it comes to yourself keeps this emotional energy here and allows everybody else to use it and not you, because they can just trigger you and get that energy out of you. You understand? This is where it's the easiest to leech your energy. The easiest for those bloodsuckers. The easiest is your emotions. If they can trigger you, they got you. What if they weren't able to trigger you? They can't do nothing to you. You can't do nothing for them no more. It's over with. It's over with. Now the Hangman. Sacrifice, waiting, uncertainty, lack of direction, perceptive, contemplation. So because you were self-loathing, you knew you had to think differently, to actually understand where these emotions are coming from. It's kind of the same repetitive talk, so we could just move on from there. New perspectives get you new options. Moving from there, we went to the Two of Swords. Stalemate, difficult choices, being stuck in the middle, denial, hidden information. Stalemate is not always bad, because if something is not going right, why do you keep doing the same thing? Not doing it is actually smarter, so you can wait to figure out what you can do next with it. Insanity is coming into play. So moving from there, it was not completed, which means there was no earth in this position. So there was nothing to give me a clue besides the fact that it's going to take more time. Other than it's going to take time for you to feel secure in yourself. And you know, all things take time, but it's up to you to dig in to your feelings. That's what it just takes. That's it. Your emotions. Alright, so the part that I wanted to do next was the oracle portion of it. So this is basically the energy around everything that's happening. So your mind works with this area to get things done. Your spirit works with this area to get things done, and vice versa with the soul and the body, right? We're going to look at these oracle cards. It's called the Sacred Symbols Oracle. Starting with the world of emanation, we have new life. But I'm going to just put this to the side real quick so we can understand what your gift is, as well as what the oracle behind it says. This is the place of your knowledge. So you know that a new life is in order. So let me continue from there. The arrival of new beginnings, or the budding start of something beautiful and long-lasting. Drawing this card can indicate a need or desire to start over with a sense of childlike wonder. Remember what I said about starting over. It's sometimes easier to start it over. If you ever played a game where you missed so much in the beginning, starting over, now you have the knowledge of the skills to get everywhere. You know, it's easier the next time around. You don't have to have and complete the first portion of it. Sometimes the book don't need to be finished. What if it's a bad book? This book is trash. Let me get a new book to read. We're gonna put the King of Wands back on top. Well, let's read the King of Wands. So, your gift is in leadership, vision, big pictures, taking control, daring decision, boldness, and optimism. And the funny thing is, optimism is opposite what this is right here. This emotional part, if you were more optimistic, you would have accepted the things that happen and understand that more beautiful things can happen in the future. Not everything that happened in your past is going to happen again. That's where optimism comes into play. And that is a part of your nature. Your nature works hand in hand with your gift. It's almost like you're the body and that's the sword, right? It's clear at this point. Your gift is to take control, so use your gift on yourself. Gifts comes in many forms, so the way I'm explaining it, it can be an item, it can be a person, it can be a place, you know, anything. But it's doing the same function. That's what I was trying to get at. The next part is the area of the mind, which is Yatsira, and is represented by the Death card. So let's get that. You know, new life and death being here, if your mind knows it has to end, if your ego even knows it has to end, that's a beautiful place to be, because your ego is going to say, okay, I'm going to sit back. I've been doing this all wrong. Acceptance, even knowing it in your mind, forces your ego to sit down and say, you know what? There's a better way. So death to all that. So let's look at it real quick. The noticeable end of a cycle or situation. Let me put it this way. Grieving or mourning a loss in order to heal. It is time to watch the old way leave itself in the past. Allowing feelings of grief or sadness to move through you with ease. Meditate on this when you want to honor an ending, a loss, or letting go in your life with grace. Without death, there is no life, and vice versa. Because if something doesn't end, you can never begin something new. Because if you want something to change, which is the ending of something and the start of something, how you want that to happen if you don't let it go. This is why death brings life. Creating space. If you've been in my readings before, when I talk about space, you can either give it to God or God is going to take it from you. Which one you want to do? Because if God has to be the one that decides, it's going to be more painful. Or hopefully your karma is in line, you know, it won't be as painful. But if you give it to God, not only will it be reciprocated in kind, but your manifestations, what comes to you now will be greater because it was a sacrifice. God likes sacrifices. What can you not do for me? That's what God is saying. What can you not do? How many vices can you not take part of? Can you not do that thing for me? Or can you not do that thing for yourself? Nurturing, it comes hand in hand. So now for the spirit, which is Beriya, and it is the soulmate card. A significant partnership, soul connection, and the meeting of kindred spirits. Drawing this card means you have met a soul connection relationship. While this can indicate a romantic connection, it can also signify a relationship meant to work together on a soul level. This partnership is special. Learn from each other, be good to each other, and be in gratitude for the connection. Even our perceived adversaries are profound soulmate connections. Ooh. You can always draw another card for clarification, but meditate on this symbol when you want to connect on a deeper soul level with friends, family, or companions. It can also be used to call in a soulmate relationship. So, your adversaries, the people that hold you back, are your greatest motivators. So, your adversaries can be your soulmate too. And that's just like a creepy thought. Because why? It taught you so much, and that's why. You gain those experiences, and that's why. Now you have those experience points. Put them on one of these areas. How about you put them on your emotions and handle this area so you can get your power back. Next thing you know, your power just go to your nature, and you can just build on yourself. That's what it's all about. Build on yourself. Seeing what you become, what you can become. You have these gifts. I know you want to express them. And lastly, we're ending off with magic, which is in the place of manifestation. It's the physical. So there's a lot on magic, but let's get through it. You are a magical being. Time to stop hiding the awe-inspiring abilities you have to connect to divine. Drawing the pinnacle invites you to connect with your personal magic on a deeper level at this time. Working with the phases of the moon, which came down over here in the place of your root, right? Working with the phases of the moon in ritual and with herbs, candles, crystals, and spell work are some ways we can connect to our magic on the physical plane, to the etheric realms. Find what suits you best, with love and with harm to none. So without stepping on anybody, without pushing anybody down, without trying to get up on somebody, how can you build it from yourself? This way it stays there. What's not for you is not for you. So if you try to take it from somebody else, it's eventually going to be taken from you. Meditate on the pinnacle when you want to draw in the power of the elements to protect your energy and or sacred space. Now, sacred space, we talked about space just now. And why is it sacred? Your home is a sacred space. Your facilities in the home make it run better. So if your house cannot protect you from the elements, your home is in danger, and you can't use these facilities for yourself, or these facilities break down. You can understand the analogy, but it runs within your mind and your spirit and your body all the same. So that's that. So with the next and final part of the reading, we have the star stream. The star stream, as I said before, we have your experimentation, your expression, your integration, and your transcendence. What does that mean? With everything that we learned and the new perspective that we have now, and the triggers that I probably drudged up, and I apologize, but basically knowing all of this information now, what can we experiment with? What are some of the things that we can do? So we're gonna create some scenarios with these oracle cards. What are they telling us to do with experimentation? And experimentation is with the manifestations. So with the things that you have created and the things that are tangible can be used a lot. Friendship. So soulmate and friendship. Experiment with your friendships. So these kind of go hand in hand. So that means should you experiment with understanding your spirit and learning yourself on a fundamental basis. If you experiment with it, not only will you learn things about yourself, but these new ideas of how to please yourself, how to nurture yourself will come apart. It will come here. Well, will come out of nowhere and kind of force guide you. Like, oh yeah, this is the way to go because I learned myself. Now I know what I need, what I really wanted. So, expression. Now this card should be something that helps us out with these emotions. So what does it say? Air. Breathe. In, out. Cycles. Rotation. Rhythm. That's what it's giving me right now. And 28 is on this card, and that's the number of the moon. So that's also cycles of revelation. So not that you have to deal with it all at the same time, and you do have the mind too. And now that you know that you need to get rid of it with this death card, it's going to make this process a lot easier to filter out the emotions, to experiment about what you need to express, the outlets that you need to have. Let's get air really quickly. No. Let's keep going. Okay. Guides. In the place of your integration, you have guides. So once you're friends with spirit and you get over some of these emotions, you unlock your communication with your soul guides, your spirit guides. You're guided by yourself, your actual true self, the self that wants to, I don't know how to explain that part. Not that you want to be selfish and obtain everything and do everything, but divinely selfish is like just nurturing. Maybe that's the opposite. Selfish, nurturing. Maybe that's the opposite of selfish. I don't actually know what it is. And it's not giving. You can give to anything. You could be rich, a rich asshole that gives to people. That doesn't make you a nurturer. So when it comes up to your experimentation, right? We have friendship. Let's see what it says. A new ally. Positive support, community, and camaraderie. Meditate when you want more harmony and peace in your community. Also used to draw new alliances and friends. If your spiritual guides are calling you in your dreams, write them down. If they're saying things to you that you're trying to interpret, write them down. Why? Because, as I said before, writing is a craft. And it's one of those things that we can do as we get better with it. You get to interpret spirit more. But sometimes you don't need to write. Maybe you're not a writer. Maybe you're a person who dances. Maybe you're a person who just creates with music and things like that. Maybe you're a person who just likes to be in the zone. You never know. For your expression of air, let's see what it says. It says, logic, critical thinking, facts, information, research, and reasoning are required at this time. That's all anchors. Logic is a whole anchor. It's sturdy. It's time-tested, proven fact. Critical thinking gets you to that logic point. Facts, information, and research. Information can be swayed, but research proves the information. So it's all in being concrete with what you believe and what you know. Get the facts straight. Drawing this card asks you to call on the element of air to help you in finding healthy resolutions. Meditate with this symbol to call on more of the air element in your life to enhance logical thought and inspire new ideas. Use incense, channel writing, and journaling to enhance this power of this element. So writing, yeah, you need to be writing. Whatever, write a note on your phone, open the notes in your phone. If you're in the writer, text that out. Just keep putting them dots, the check boxes. It don't matter. Just keep going. But whatever you need, it'll come out. Read it the next day. Because you won't believe at the time that you write it. Because your ego is like, bullshit, 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 bullshit. And the next thing that you get back to it, what was this? That's a whole bar. It's like that. Because thinking logically is not thinking emotionally. Logic versus emotions literally cancels it out. So that's self-explanatory. So integration, we have your guides, and that's kind of self-explanatory right by itself, but let's see what it says. Your spirit guides and ancestors are calling to you now. They surround you with their love and protection and also offer you their wisdom. Allow these helping spirits into your world today. You are not alone. Meditate on this when you need assistance from your spiritual team. So, for some reason, like, where were we before we came to this realm? Were we with God? And then we wanted to experience being by ourselves. But we weren't by ourselves. We have these guides and spirits. We have our body, our soul, and other people to connect with in this journey to learn who we are. But yet we're alone. Why do we feel this way? Because we don't talk to each other. We don't experience what we know. We don't talk about the truths. Because if we did, you'll have people on your side. People that says, you know what, this person spits truth. And I need that in my life. I'm going to reciprocate. I'm not going to be dishonest. You'll find people by exposing your truth. Truth hurts, but it also attracts. So, yeah. So, transcendence. Basically, in order to level up, you transcend what you know to make a whole new thing out of it. It's like we started off with the bicycle and it transcended into cars, you know? It transcended into airplanes, trains, you know? All of these things is just transportation, but that's transcendence. That's where we came with it. Where we were and now where we're going. The facilities that we have now compared to what we did before. It's unmatched. So, yeah. So, for transcendence, you have stormy. Drama straight ahead. Prepare and brace yourself. Conditions are not favorable at this time. Wait the storm out before proceeding. Do not worry either. The weather can change very quickly. Meditate on this when you want to call your sea legs to help you keep safe and secure through hardship or a stressful period. If you are inquiring about a relationship, please be warned that this situation will bring up a lot of upheaval to your path. Proceed with caution. Now, remember how your adversaries are for you? Your adversaries are your biggest motivators, are your biggest trajectory aligners, people that guide you into the right way, because God sent those adversaries in front of you to say, nope, not this way, go a different way. You absolutely cannot pass that BS. Go a different way. That's how God guides you too. He uses other people, other events, things that happen to you in your past to guide you. So we know where to go instinctively, but we gotta listen hard enough. The reason for the storm is sometimes you gotta ride it out. Where you going? You can't even use the stars to navigate. There's all the clouds in the air. Where are you going? You might as well stay still. You're not getting anywhere. It's a storm going. So, hunkering down and building on yourself, fixing your ship, making sure you got everything aligned, no water coming through, you won't sink, things like that. When you get out of it, the next storm that you go through, you won't be as bad, because you'll understand, I've been through this before, I can make it through again. Alright, so that was the end of the reading, and I hope you enjoyed everything that we spoke about today. So if you like my content, I'd appreciate it if you like the video. I'm trying to get the word out to everybody in the community. I'm new here, but I got a lot to give, and I'm trying to do that as efficiently as I can. And the best way I know how to do that is through an app. So I have an app in the process of being made. It's in the early stages, but we're gonna get there, especially with your support. I'll get there sooner than later, But until then, I'm KyFy. Peace.